Incredible miracle. In Jerusalem, Jesus and an angel appear on the street.
That pole, I could be a victim right there, man. Look at that on camera.
There is far more proof to show that angels exist.
For the first time in over 2,000 years since his death, burial, and resurrection, residents of Jerusalem are in great shock following reports that Jesus and an angel were sighted on the streets of Jerusalem. Is this a trick of the light? Jesus and an angel, a cross beautiful and amazing with a crowd gathered around the glowing figure. Angels also descended, making the scene one the modern world had never seen before. What message are these angels trying to convey to us? Could this be a sign of the second coming of Jesus? Before starting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that thumbs up button and press the bell to explore everything, from comparing it with the Bible's description of Jesus' second coming to the figure being the Antichrist or just one of the many false prophets that claim to be Jesus Christ. One sunny day in Jerusalem, something unexpected happened on the Mount of Olives, one that everyone there will forever remember. People couldn't believe their eyes when they saw a shining figure coming down from the sky. This figure was wearing a bright white robe and was surrounded by other glowing beings that looked like angels. The first ones to see this amazing sight were a group of pilgrims. They immediately thought of Jesus when they saw the figure because it looked just like the pictures and matched the stories they had heard about him. It had long hair and a full beard, and its eyes seemed very intense. The whole scene was magical, with the figure glowing from the inside out. It was incredibly special for those who witnessed it, and to see it happening right there in Jerusalem, a place with so much biblical history, made it even more convincing. As if the shining figure wasn't enough, there were also angels there, glowing with pure light. Their wings sparkled and reflected the sunlight, making them look even more magical. The people watching were filled with happiness and amazement as this incredible sight unfolded. Some couldn't hold back their tears of joy, while others prayed silently, grateful to witness such a miracle. Word of this extraordinary sighting spread like wildfire. Everyone wanted to see for themselves, so they rushed to the mount, turning it into a bustling gathering place. The news was all the rave on social media as people shared their personal stories and pictures of what they had seen. While some images were blurry, others were crystal clear, revealing every detail of the figures and accompanying angels. Amidst all the recordings of this extraordinary moment, one thing stood out: the sight of a white dove descending upon the central figure. For many, this symbolized the Holy Spirit, a powerful and spiritual presence. As more people gathered to witness the spectacle, a hush fell over the crowd as everyone waited to hear what would happen next. And then, suddenly, the serene and powerful figure spoke. The message he shared was simple, yet very deep. It was about loving one another and that forgiveness is the key to the kingdom of heaven. It also urged them to unite in compassion and build a world where harmony reigns. Do you think this is a genuine message? Religious leaders and communities worldwide didn't stay quiet about what happened on the Mount of Olives. Some of them were firm believers in the miracle, while others wanted more proof before they could decide. At the same time, authorities and scientists were busy trying to figure out what exactly had happened. They debated and analyzed the event, trying to understand its nature and what it meant. People's reactions to what happened on the Mount of Olives differ. Some have accepted it without question, while others ask for more proof before believing it. Some are also having theological debates, trying to understand the meaning and consequences of this miraculous event. According to the Bible, Jesus will return to earth one day, just like he promised before returning to heaven. People have been waiting for this moment for a long time, believing it will be a time of great joy and celebration. Many believers around the world have studied and analyzed the prophecies in the Bible, trying to decipher when and how exactly Jesus will return. The concept of the second coming of Christ is central to Christian theology and has been a source of hope and inspiration for millions of people throughout history. Various interpretations of the book of Revelation and other biblical texts have led to different theories about the events surrounding the return of Jesus. Some believe in a literal interpretation, expecting Jesus to physically descend from the heavens in a glorious display of power and majesty. Others see it as a more symbolic event, representing a spiritual awakening or transformation for humanity. Regardless of the specific details, the return of Jesus is often associated with the idea of Judgment Day, where the righteous will be rewarded and the wicked will face punishment. This belief serves as a motivation for many Christians to lead moral and ethical lives in anticipation of the final judgment. The anticipation of Jesus' return has also given rise to various movements and sects within Christianity, each interpreting the prophecy in their own unique way. Some groups have even set specific dates for the second coming, only to be disappointed when the predicted day passes without incident. Despite the uncertainty and debate surrounding the exact nature of Jesus' return, the hope and faith in his eventual coming remain strong among believers. The promise of a renewed and transformed world, free of suffering and sin, continues to inspire and comfort those who look forward to the day when Jesus will return to earth. As people continue to wait and prepare for this momentous event, the teachings of Jesus to love one another, show kindness and compassion, and live out the values of the kingdom of God guide their actions and attitudes. The belief in the second coming serves as a reminder to live with hope and purpose, knowing that one day Jesus will indeed return to fulfill his promise of redemption and restoration. In the Bible, it says that when Jesus comes back, it will be in a very dramatic way, as he'll come in power and glory surrounded by angels. Everyone will know that it's him, and there won't be any doubt about it. The belief that Jesus will return to the earth in a grand and triumphant manner is a fundamental tenet of many Christian faiths. According to the Bible, Jesus himself spoke about his return during his time on earth, promising his disciples that he would come again to establish his kingdom. Throughout history, various Christian denominations have interpreted the idea of Jesus' second coming in different ways. Some believe in a literal interpretation, where Jesus will physically return to earth in the future, while others see it as a more symbolic or spiritual event. Regardless of the specific interpretation, the belief in the second coming of Jesus plays a significant role in shaping the beliefs and practices of many Christians around the world. The concept of Jesus' return is deeply rooted in eschatology, the branch of theology that deals with the final events in human history, the ultimate destiny of humanity, and the end of the world. Many Christians view the second coming as a pivotal moment in the fulfillment of God's plan for salvation and redemption. It is often associated with themes of judgment, the resurrection of the dead, and the establishment of a new kingdom where righteousness and peace will reign supreme. The New Testament of the Bible contains numerous references to Jesus' second coming, providing descriptions of what this event might entail. In the book of Revelation, for example, there are vivid depictions of Jesus returning on a white horse, accompanied by heavenly hosts and angels. The imagery is often symbolic and metaphorical, illustrating the cosmic significance of this eschatological event. For many Christians, the belief in Jesus' return serves as a source of hope and inspiration in times of hardship and uncertainty. It offers reassurance that ultimately justice will prevail and all things will be made right in the end. This hope for a better future motivates believers to live their lives in accordance with the teachings of Jesus, preparing themselves for the coming kingdom of God. The New Testament book of Revelation provides vivid descriptions of Jesus' return, portraying him as a conquering king who will defeat evil and establish his reign over the earth. In Revelation 1:7, it is written, "Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, and all tribes of the earth will wail on account of him." This verse speaks to the universal nature of Jesus' return, suggesting that it will be a globally recognized event that will have a profound impact on all of humanity. Throughout the Gospels, Jesus also alludes to the dramatic nature of his second coming. In Matthew 24:30, he states, "Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." This passage underscores the belief that Jesus' return will be a momentous and awe-inspiring event, with unmistakable signs that will leave no room for doubt. The idea of Jesus returning in power and glory surrounded by angels has inspired countless works of art, literature, and music throughout history. Artists have depicted the scene of Jesus' return in various ways, often emphasizing the majesty and splendor of his arrival. Composers have composed grand musical pieces that seek to capture the awe and reverence of this sacred event. Writers have penned stirring narratives that explore the meaning and significance of Jesus' second coming. For believers, the promise of Jesus' return is a source of hope and comfort in a world filled with uncertainty and suffering. The belief that Jesus will come again to establish his kingdom of righteousness and peace provides reassurance that ultimate justice and redemption will prevail. It serves as a reminder that, despite the trials and tribulations of this present age, a future of divine fulfillment and restoration awaits those who place their trust in the coming King. When Jesus comes back, he'll do a few different things. First, he'll gather up all of his followers, both the ones who are still alive and the ones who have died. They'll all be taken up to heaven to be with him forever. Then Jesus will judge everyone who's left behind. Some people believe that after Jesus comes back, there will be a new heaven and a new earth where everything will be perfect, and there won't be any more pain or suffering. But not everyone agrees on exactly how or when Jesus will come back. The one thing we have to compare the recent sighting to Jesus' second coming is the Bible, and what it says compared to what people saw are similar and different at the same time. It makes us wonder, does the recent news match Jesus' second coming as stated in the Bible? As expected, many people have tried to pair the recent sighting with the Bible's description of Jesus' second coming. In the Bible, it's described as Jesus coming down from the sky with angels. He is depicted as surrounded by a host of angels, descending from the heavens in a glorious and awe-inspiring manner. This event is known as the second coming of Jesus Christ, as foretold in the New Testament. The imagery of Jesus descending from the sky with angels is a powerful and symbolic representation of his return to earth to judge the living and the dead. The concept of Jesus coming down from the sky with angels holds great significance in Christian theology. It is believed to signify the culmination of history and the final triumph of good over evil. This event is associated with the end times, the day of judgment, and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. In Christian eschatology, the second coming of Christ is considered a major event that will bring about the ultimate redemption and restoration of creation. In France, Inri continued his mission to spread his message of peace and love to all who would listen. His teachings attracted a small but devoted following, and he soon gained a reputation as a charismatic and inspiring leader. Despite facing constant scrutiny and criticism from skeptics and religious authorities, Inri remained steadfast in his beliefs and continued to preach his message of compassion and forgiveness. As word of Inri's teaching spread, he began to attract followers from all walks of life. Some saw him as a prophet, while others viewed him as a revolutionary figure challenging the status quo. Inri's message resonated with many who were disillusioned with the corruption and greed that plagued society, and his followers grew in numbers with each passing day. However, not everyone was pleased with Inri's growing influence. Religious leaders and government officials saw him as a threat to their power and authority, and they launched a campaign to discredit and undermine his message. Inri faced constant harassment and persecution, with many attempting to silence him through intimidation and violence. Despite the challenges he faced, Inri remained committed to his cause. He continued to preach his message of peace and harmony, urging his followers to resist violence and hate in all its forms. Inri's words inspired many to seek a better world, free from the injustices and inequalities that plagued society. As time went on, Inri's influence continued to grow, spreading far beyond the borders of France. His message reached people from all corners of the globe, sparking a wave of change, and the imagery of Jesus descending from the sky with angels has been a recurring theme in Christian art, literature, and theology. Artists throughout history have sought to capture the majesty and splendor of this event, portraying Jesus as a divine figure surrounded by a heavenly host. The depiction of angels accompanying Jesus serves to emphasize the sacred and transcendent nature of his return. The belief in Jesus coming down from the sky with angels is not limited to Christianity. In Islam, Jesus, Isa in Arabic, is also expected to return in the future as a powerful and righteous leader. Muslims refer to this event as the second coming of Isa, during which he will establish justice and peace on earth. The parallels between Christian and Islamic beliefs regarding the return of Jesus highlight the shared reverence for this important religious figure. Overall, the concept of Jesus coming down from the sky with angels is a central theme in Christian theology and eschatology. It symbolizes the hope and expectation of believers for the fulfillment of God's plan for the world. As a deeply symbolic and profound image, it continues to inspire and captivate the faithful across different religious traditions. Similarly, in the recent sighting, a radiant figure descended from the sky, accompanied by shining angels. Another similarity is the message conveyed during these events. In the Bible, Jesus is said to deliver a message of peace, love, and unity, urging humanity to come together under the banner of love and forgiveness. Similarly, in recent news, the figure is reported to impart a message of peace and unity that touches the souls of everyone present. The teachings of Jesus in the Bible have had a profound impact on millions of people around the world, guiding them towards a life of compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. His message of peace and love continues to resonate with many, transcending cultural and religious boundaries. In today's world, where conflicts and divisions seem to be prevalent, the message of peace and unity that Jesus preached is more important than ever. People from different walks of life are seeking ways to bridge the gap and foster understanding among one another, much like Jesus encouraged during his time on earth. This call for unity and love is echoed in various forms, not just in religious teachings but also in philosophies and movements that aim to bring people together for a common cause. From community outreach programs to international peace initiatives, the spirit of unity and cooperation can be seen in action across the globe. When news of a figure imparting a message of peace and unity reaches the public, it serves as a reminder of the enduring relevance of such values in our modern society. People are inspired to set aside their differences and work towards a common goal of harmony and cooperation, just as Jesus envisioned for humanity. In a world filled with challenges and uncertainties, the timeless message of peace, love, and unity that Jesus shared serves as a beacon of hope and guidance for those seeking a better future. By coming together under the banner of love and forgiveness, we can create a more compassionate and harmonious world for all. Although these similarities exist, there are also some important differences between the two. First off, the recent event involved a shining figure and angels descending from the sky, while Jesus' second coming, as described in the Bible, is expected to be a dramatic and unmistakable event. According to Christian beliefs, Jesus will return in glory, accompanied by angels, and every eye will see him. Secondly, the recent events seem to convey a message of peace and unity, whereas Jesus' second coming is often associated with judgment and establishing God's kingdom on earth. In the Bible, Jesus is portrayed as a divine judge who will separate the righteous from the wicked. While the recent event attracted widespread attention and debate among religious leaders, scientists, and the general public, Jesus' second coming is believed by Christians to be a future event that will occur at the appointed time known only to God. The recent event also did not fulfill all the biblical prophecies and signs associated with Jesus' second coming, such as the worldwide proclamation of the gospel, the rise of false prophets and deceivers, and the signs in the heavens and on the earth. Now back to the supposed Jesus and angels spotted on the Mount of Olives. Where are they now? Well, that's a question that's hard to answer. Some people believe that they returned to heaven after their appearance, while others think that they might still be around watching over us from above. It's a mystery open to interpretation. Different people have different beliefs about it. For those who believe in the Christian faith, Jesus ascended to heaven after his resurrection, so they might think that he returned there after his appearance on the Mount of Olives. As for the angels, well, they're often seen as messengers of God. So some people believe that they're always around carrying out their divine duties wherever they're needed. These celestial beings are believed to serve as intermediaries between the divine realm and humanity, delivering important messages, guidance, and protection to those in need. In various religions and spiritual traditions around the world, angels are viewed as beings of light and purity, possessing supernatural abilities and powers beyond human comprehension. The concept of angels has been a prevalent and enduring belief throughout history, with mentions of these ethereal beings found in religious texts, mythologies, and folklore from different cultures. In Christianity, angels are portrayed as God's faithful servants who carry out his will and provide aid to believers in times of trouble. The archangels, such as Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, hold significant roles in the hierarchy of angels, each with their unique responsibilities and attributes. In Islam, angels are considered to be Allah's obedient messengers who carry out his commands and protect believers from harm. The angel Gabriel, is revered as the bearer of revelations to the prophets, including the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. Angels are believed to record human deeds and serve as witnesses on the Day of Judgment, either advocating for or against individuals based on their actions in life. Similarly, in Judaism, angels are seen as celestial beings created by God to serve specific purposes and tasks in the world. The character of angels in Jewish tradition varies, ranging from warrior angels like Michael to healing angels like Raphael. Angels are believed to guide individuals, provide comfort, and deliver divine messages to fulfill God's plan for his people. Beyond the Abrahamic religions, Angels hold significance in other faith traditions as well. In Hinduism, celestial beings known as devas and devis are akin to angels, serving as guardians, protectors, and agents of cosmic order. In Buddhism, celestial beings known as deva reside in higher realms of existence, embodying virtues and assisting sentient beings on their spiritual paths. The belief in angels continues to resonate with many people today, offering comfort, hope, and reassurance in times of uncertainty and adversity. Whether viewed as benevolent messengers, guides, or protectors, angels hold a special place in human imagination and spirituality, bridging the gap between the mundane and the divine realms with their celestial presence. The enduring fascination with angels reflects a deep-seated longing for connection with the sacred and the belief in unseen forces that watch over and guide us in our earthly journey. Others might see the appearance of Jesus and the angels as a one-time event which happened at that moment and then passed. They might think they're no longer present on the Mount of Olives or anywhere else on earth. Of course, some don't believe in supernatural at all, so they might think that the whole thing was just a trick of the light or a collective hallucination. They might not think that Jesus and the angels were ever really there in the first place. In the end, where Jesus and the angels are now depends on what you believe. Some people might find comfort in the idea that they're still watching over us, while others might prefer to think of them as symbols of hope and inspiration that live on in our hearts and minds. Some might say seeing the supposed Jesus and angels could be fake or a hoax. They might think that maybe someone dressed up to look like Jesus and had friends pretend to be angels. It's possible that they were just trying to trick people into believing something that wasn't true. It would be really disappointing to find out that what everyone saw wasn't real, but then there are video proofs that show what happened. These videos captured the whole event, from the shining figure descending from the sky to the crowd's reaction. It's hard to argue with video evidence, especially when many people see the same thing. It would be a lot of work just to pull off a hoax. Regardless, some people might think that the videos themselves could be fake. They might say that they were edited or manipulated to make it look like something miraculous happened. It's true that videos can be altered, but it's also true that there were so many of them all showing the same thing. Then there's also the fact that the supposed Jesus is actually the Antichrist. I mean, we can't talk about a sighting of Jesus Christ without considering it being the Antichrist. In the Bible, the Antichrist is described as a deceptive figure who opposes Christ and seeks to deceive people with false miracles and teachings. The Antichrist is often associated with the end times and is portrayed as a charismatic leader who leads many astray. Now let's consider the recent event on the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. Witnesses describe seeing a radiant figure descending from the sky, accompanied by angels. This figure resembled traditional depictions of Jesus with long hair, a beard, and eyes full of passion. The appearance of angels and the messages of peace and unity delivered by the figure may seem reminiscent of biblical teachings. You should know that the Antichrist is known for performing false miracles and spreading deceptive messages. In the context of the Antichrist, the notion of false miracles and deceptive messages serves as a warning for individuals to remain vigilant against manipulative and deceitful forces. The concept of an Antichrist is not exclusive to Christian theology, but also appears in various other religious and cultural narratives. The concept of the Antichrist, often associated with deceit and false miracles, has been a prominent theme in several religious and cultural traditions throughout history. While the term Antichrist is commonly linked to Christian theology, similar figures can be found in Islamic eschatology, Jewish prophecies, and even in non-religious contexts. In each of these traditions, the Antichrist represents a force of evil and deception, posing a threat to both individuals and society as a whole. According to Christian belief, the Antichrist is a figure who will emerge in the end times as a false Messiah, seeking to deceive humanity and lead people away from the true path of righteousness. In Christian eschatology, the Antichrist is often associated with the Book of Revelation and the concept of Armageddon, symbolizing the final battle between good and evil. The idea of false miracles and deceptive messages attributed to the Antichrist serves as a cautionary tale for believers to discern truth from falsehood and to remain steadfast in their faith. In Islamic tradition, the figure known as Dajjal bears resemblance to the Antichrist in Christian teachings. Dajjal is portrayed as a deceiver who will appear during the end times, spreading corruption and chaos before the return of the true Messiah, Jesus, Isa, in Islamic belief. Muslims are warned to be wary of Dajjal's misleading signs and false promises, as they signify a period of great tribulation and spiritual testing. In Jewish mysticism, references to figures like Armilus and Belial also echo the archetype of the Antichrist, representing forces of evil and chaos that must be overcome through divine intervention. These figures are often associated with the eschatological battle between good and evil, marking a cosmic struggle for the ultimate redemption of the world. Beyond religious contexts, the concept of the Antichrist can also be found in literature, film, and popular culture, where it serves as a symbol of human frailty, greed, and the eternal struggle between light and darkness. Whether viewed as a literal figure or a metaphor for the darker aspects of human nature, the Antichrist remains a powerful and enduring symbol that continues to captivate and provoke reflection on the nature of good and evil in society. As individuals navigate the complexities of the modern world, the warnings embodied in the concept of the Antichrist serve as a reminder to remain vigilant against manipulation, deception, and the allure of false promises. By cultivating discernment, critical thinking, and a strong moral compass, individuals can guard themselves against the influence of destructive forces and uphold the values of truth, integrity, and righteousness. In the face of uncertainty and moral ambiguity, the timeless lessons of the Antichrist narrative offer guidance and wisdom for those seeking to navigate the complexities of the human experience. The idea of peace and unity, as emphasized by the figure in the message, is a universal theme that transcends religious boundaries. The desire for harmony and cooperation among individuals and communities is a fundamental aspect of human society, regardless of one's faith or belief system. As we navigate the complexities of spirituality and belief, it is essential to approach different perspectives with an open mind and a willingness to engage in respectful dialogue. By fostering understanding and empathy, we can build bridges across diverse faith traditions and work towards a more tolerant and inclusive world. While the appearance of angels and the messages of peace may evoke biblical motifs, their significance extends beyond any single religious framework. By exploring the underlying themes of unity, faith, and deception, we can broaden our understanding of the spiritual and metaphysical dimensions of the world around us. While the event may appear miraculous to some, others may question its authenticity and whether it aligns with biblical teachings. The sudden appearance of such a figure, accompanied by angels, could raise suspicions among those familiar with the biblical warnings about false prophets and deceptive signs. The message of love, forgiveness, and unity delivered by the figure may seem uplifting and positive at first glance. But some may argue that these teachings could be used to manipulate and deceive people, leading them away from true faith and allegiance to Christ. Not to mention the fact that, according to the Bible, Jesus' second coming will bring about the rapture and the end of the world. Since the world is still here with you and I still existing, it's possible that the figure wasn't Jesus after all. This raises questions about who or what the figure might be. The Bible also talks about the Antichrist's arrival marking the beginning of the end, instead of signaling the final end of the world. People may be deceived into worshiping him and following his teachings, leading to great suffering on earth. Let's not forget that this was not the first time people have claimed to be Jesus Christ or angels without proof. That brings us to the question, what are the other sightings of people who claim to be Jesus Christ in the past? In different parts of the world, there are at least 7 men who claim to be Jesus Christ reincarnated, and they have followers who believe in them with all their hearts. These men come from all walks of life, from a retired traffic cop in Siberia named Vissarion to a former British spy named David Shayer, who now dresses as a woman. Despite their different backgrounds, they all share one belief, that they are the Son of God. For example, a man called Jesus of Kitwe originally faced backlash from his community in Zambia when he claimed to be Jesus, but he now claims to hold a higher position than the original Jesus in heaven. Another man, Henri Cristo, lives near Brazil's capital and is often seen wearing a white robe and a woven crown. He is accompanied by devoted female followers who live with him behind a fenced compound, pushing him around on a red satin platform. Photographer Jonas Bendixson has traveled the world to document these people claiming to be Jesus. He has taken pictures of Jesus Matayoshi in Japan, who used to be a politician and now spreads his gospel calmly from the top of a minivan in Tokyo's busy streets. What Jonas's photographs show will shock you. Jonas took photos of Moses H. Wayne, who's known as South Africa's Lord of Lords. Moses is often seen wearing a baseball cap with yellow satin on it. He collects money from his followers' welfare payments to construct his Jesus compound in a town in KwaZulu-Natal. Unlike Jesus Christ in the Bible, in 2016, Moses got married to one of his young followers. Jonas then compiled these images into a book titled The Last Testament. In this book, he shares the stories of these men in their own versions of the gospel. Jonas points out that St. Paul's ancient writings suggest he believed Jesus would return during his lifetime. This idea has prompted belief in more people claiming to be Jesus reincarnated, such as historical figures like Moses of Crete and Anne Lee in 1772, who believed she was Christ's female form, and Claude Vaughan in 1972, who was the founder of the UFO religion Riel movement, have all made similar claims according to those Jonas photographed. The 2,000-year wait for Jesus' return has ended, and they firmly believe that he is walking among us once more. Let's start with Henri Cristo from Brazil. He's based near Brasilia, the capital of Brazil. His followers, mostly women, wear blue robes with the initials Henri on them. They push their leader around on a rolling platform. Henri Cristo calls himself a Messiah, claiming to be the same person as Jesus Christ. He took the initials Henri from the inscription on the cross of Jesus, which stands for Iesus Nazarenus Rex Judaeorum, meaning Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Around a dozen disciples live with Henri Cristo full-time. They all live together in a walled compound surrounded by barbed wire and electric fencing for protection. They grow most of their food and spend their days focusing on men's mission, which he says is to bring about a new age of peace. The disciples wake up at dawn each day to tend to the crops in their garden and take care of the animals they raise for food. Henri Cristo believes strongly in self-sufficiency and sustainability, teaching his followers to live in harmony with the earth and not rely on modern comforts like electricity or technology. The disciples practice meditation and prayer regularly, seeking spiritual enlightenment and guidance from their leader. In addition to their daily chores and religious practices, the disciples also engage in community outreach and charity work. They frequently visit nearby villages to provide food, clothing, and medical supplies to those in need. Inri Cristo preaches a message of love and service, encouraging his followers to spread kindness and compassion wherever they go. Despite their secluded lifestyle, the disciples of Inri Cristo are not entirely cut off from the outside world. They occasionally invite visitors to their compound for spiritual retreats and discussions. Inri Cristo himself is known to make public appearances and participate in interviews to share his teachings with a wider audience. Over the years, Inri Cristo and his disciples have faced criticism and skepticism from those who do not understand or agree with their beliefs. However, they remain steadfast in their commitment to their mission of spreading peace and love to the world. The community continues to grow, welcoming new followers who are drawn to Inri Cristo's message of unity and enlightenment. As the sun sets on another day at the compound, the disciples gather for a communal meal and prayer. They reflect on their efforts and accomplishments, finding strength and solace in their shared faith and purpose. In a world plagued by conflict and division, the disciples of Inri Cristo stand as a beacon of hope and unity, working tirelessly to bring about a new era of peace for all humankind. Inri Cristo, whose real name is Alvaro Th., was born to Catholic parents of German descent. He didn't have much schooling because his father had to stop working after a work accident. At 13, Inri left home and started working various jobs like delivering goods, selling things, waiting tables, and baking. So Inri Cristo has quite an unusual life story. He claims to be a Messiah and has gathered a group of followers who live with him in a compound, working towards his vision of a peaceful new age. Inri had been a Catholic, but he turned into an atheist for a while. Then something happened in the 1970s that changed his life. He said a powerful voice woke up something inside him, and he went through a spiritual transformation. After that, he started traveling around Latin America, giving talks and sometimes appearing on TV. People started seeing him as a guru of sorts, especially among high society. In 1979, Inri made a bold declaration. He said that a voice claiming to be God spoke to him and told him something incredible, that he was his father. Not only that, but the voice also said he was the same Jesus Christ who was crucified 2,000 years ago. That's when he became known as Inri Cristo. He started dressing in a white robe and sandals, just like how people imagine Jesus looked. From then on, Inri went on a mission to spread his message worldwide. But it wasn't easy for him. He got kicked out of both the United States and the United Kingdom. Luckily, he found refuge in France, where some people even believed he was the second coming of Christ. But things took a rough turn in 1982. Inri got thrown in jail in Brazil for blasphemy and vandalism, but even behind bars, he didn't give up. He founded a new mystical order, continuing to spread his teachings over the years. Inri has faced a lot of trouble with the police. He's been detained multiple times, which led to the building of a defended and walled compound, where he now lives with his followers. Then there's Moses Hong Wayne from South Africa. In 2013, there was quite a commotion when Moses H. Wayne gathered followers and declared himself to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. This happened in South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province, and it stirred up a lot of controversy. Moses Hong Wayne's claim to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ quickly spread beyond South Africa's borders, garnering international attention and sparking debates among religious scholars, theologians, and the general public. Some saw him as a prophet with a message of peace and love, while others dismissed him as a delusional cult leader seeking fame and power. Wayne's followers, known as the Wayneites, were devoted to him and believed wholeheartedly in his divine nature. They gathered in large numbers to hear his teachings and witness the miracles he claimed to perform. Wayne's charismatic personality and magnetic presence drew people from all walks of life, including the downtrodden and the disillusioned, who saw hope and salvation in his words. As news of Wayne's movement spread, authorities became concerned about the potential for mass hysteria and social unrest. They closely monitored his activities and sought to restrict his influence, but Wayne's followers remained steadfast in their beliefs, proclaiming him as the savior of humanity and the bringer of a new era of spiritual enlightenment. Despite facing opposition and skepticism, Wayne continued to preach his message of love and forgiveness, urging his followers to live in harmony with one another and the natural world. He emphasized the importance of compassion and empathy, encouraging his followers to practice acts of kindness and generosity towards all beings. Over time, Wayne's movement evolved into a religious community with its own rituals, ceremonies, and practices. The Waynites established schools, hospitals, and charitable organizations to serve their members and the broader community, embodying their leaders' teachings of selflessness and service. While Moses Hong Wayne's claim to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ may remain controversial and divisive, his legacy endures in the hearts and minds of his followers, who continue to uphold his teachings and spread his message of love and unity to the world. Moses was criticized by many people who didn't believe his claims, but he was convinced that his actions were proof of his identity as Jesus Christ. He claimed to have spent many years in the wilderness, similar to the biblical story of Jesus before coming back to life as the Son of God. Before all this happened, Moses had a regular job as a jewelry salesman in Johannesburg. But after his reincarnation, he began referring to himself as the Lord of Lords or King of Kings. Some people accused Moses of causing families to break apart because of his teachings. They believed that his claims were leading people astray and causing division. Regardless of the criticism, Moses was stubborn about his belief that he was Jesus Christ reincarnated. According to Moses, he had battled with the devil for 22 years and he claimed to have defeated Satan. Many of his followers were older adults who gave him all their money and benefits. Moses even said in an interview with Channel Africa that he believed he would never die because God had given him a command to live forever. In addition to his insistence on his divine identity, Moses also made grandiose claims about his abilities and powers. He asserted that he possessed supernatural healing abilities, claiming to have cured various illnesses and ailments simply by laying his hands on the afflicted individuals. His followers were quick to attest to these purported miracles, further bolstering his messianic image in their eyes. Although Moses faced widespread criticism and skepticism from the general public and religious authorities, he remained resolute in his convictions. He viewed himself as a misunderstood prophet, proclaiming that his detractors were blinded by their ignorance and lack of faith. Despite the mounting evidence against his claims, Moses continued to attract followers who were drawn to his charismatic personality and promises of salvation. As his following grew, so did the controversy surrounding him. Media outlets began to investigate his background and unearthed a trail of deceit and manipulation. It was revealed that Moses had a history of criminal activities, including fraud and embezzlement, casting doubt on his moral integrity and intentions. Nevertheless, his loyal disciples remained steadfast in their support, dismissing the accusations as fabrications orchestrated by the forces of evil. In spite of the mounting accusations and legal challenges, Moses maintained an air of invincibility, proclaiming that nothing could harm him as long as he remained faithful to his mission. His rhetoric became increasingly inflammatory, with warnings of impending doom for those who dared to oppose him. The authorities grew concerned about the potential for violence and unrest among his followers, prompting increased surveillance and intervention efforts. His rise and fall underscored the importance of critical thinking and skepticism in evaluating claims of supernatural powers and messianic authority. Despite the controversy and chaos that surrounded him, Moses remained undeterred in his belief that he was the chosen one, leaving a legacy of intrigue and skepticism in his wake. Later in 2016, Moses did something surprising. He married one of his followers named Angel. He declared that their wedding day marked the beginning of the end of days, a religious event when Jesus returned to earth and believers went to heaven. Now, Angel goes by the title Mother of the Whole World. People started calling him the Zulu Jesus because of his fancy lifestyle. He likes to be surrounded by luxury, wears bright clothes, and adorns himself with gold jewelry. Moses claims that God revealed to him in a dream in 1992 that he was the chosen Messiah. He has around 40 followers who believe in him and follow his teachings. We can't leave out Vissarion from Siberia. He's the leader of the Church of the Last Testament, a group of about 10,000 people who follow him in the snowy forests of Siberia. Vissarion, whose real name is Sergei Anatolich Torop, looks the part with his long beard and robes. He's 56 years old and says he's the second coming of Christ. He teaches his followers about reincarnation, being vegetarian, being kind to each other, caring for the environment, and the end of the world. Before he became a religious leader, Vissarion was in the Red Army and later worked as a police officer in Siberia. Vissarion's early life was marked by hardship and struggle. Born into a humble family in a small village in Siberia, he was raised in a turbulent environment, with economic hardships and political instability shaping his formative years. Determined to create a better life for himself and his loved ones, Vissarion made the decision to join the Red Army at a young age. His time in the military was a defining period in his life, where he honed his discipline, resilience, and leadership skills. Serving in various capacities, Vissarion distinguished himself through his unwavering commitment to duty and his bravery in the face of danger. However, the harsh realities of war took a toll on his spirit, leading him to question the meaning and purpose of his actions. Upon leaving the military, Vissarion was at a crossroads, unsure of what path to take next. It was during this uncertain period that he found his calling in law enforcement. Joining the police force in Siberia, he embraced his new role with passion and dedication, determined to uphold justice and protect the innocent. As a police officer, Vissarion faced numerous challenges and dangers on a daily basis. From tackling organized crime to dealing with civil unrest, he navigated a complex and often dangerous landscape with courage and integrity. His unwavering commitment to upholding the law earned him the respect of his colleagues and the community he served. However, despite his outward success and the accolades he received, Vissarion couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness that gnawed at his soul. Deep within him, a longing for spiritual fulfillment and deeper meaning persisted, urging him to embark on a journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. It was during this introspective period that Vissarion found solace and guidance in religion. Embracing a newfound faith, he dedicated himself to a life of service and compassion, seeking to spread love and understanding in a world torn apart by strife and division. Becoming a religious leader, Vissarion found true fulfillment in guiding others towards a path of peace and harmony. Vissarion's journey serves as a testament to the transformative power of resilience, faith, and self-discovery. Through his experiences in the Red Army, law enforcement, and spirituality, he has emerged as a beacon of hope and inspiration for those seeking meaning and purpose in their own lives. And though his path may have been fraught with challenges and uncertainties, Vissarion's unwavering spirit and indomitable will continue to shine bright, illuminating the way for others to follow in his footsteps. But in 1989, he lost his job. Then in 1990, he had a vision that he was Jesus. He started gathering followers who believed in things like not drinking alcohol, not smoking, not eating meat, and not using money at all. The Tibetan community, named Tiber, is located in a faraway spot deep within the Siberian forest. It's about 4,400 kilometers away from Moscow and 500 kilometers from Mongolia. Living alongside him are around 5,000 of his devoted followers. People from all corners of the globe journey to join his church and reside in modest wooden homes. They brave the snowy paths just to be near him. Siberia's winters are known for being incredibly cold, but Vissarion believes this harsh climate toughens up his followers, making them stronger. In this community, they have their own unusual customs and practices. For instance, they celebrate Christmas on January 14th, which also happens to be Vissarion's birthday. On this special day, they go to the most sacred village in their community known as Obitel Razveda, or the Abode of Dawn. Here, they gather for a grand feast and engage in various religious ceremonies to honor Vissarion. Next is David Shayer from England. He used to work for MI5, a secret agency, and then he became known for telling secrets. In 2007, he said he was the Messiah, which means he believed he was a special religious leader. Sometimes he dresses as a woman named Dolores Kane when discussing his beliefs. He thinks being partly a woman helps him understand things better from a woman's point of view. David was born on December 24, 1965. After he told secrets to a newspaper about MI5, he became famous. He said MI5 was watching people who were socialists. He also talked about MI6, another secret agency trying to kill a leader from Libya in 1996. David got in trouble for telling secrets about a bombing in 1994 and was charged with breaking the law. He was in jail for a short time. Afterward, he joined a group called the 911 Truth Movement, which believes the attacks on the World Trade Center were not done by the person everyone thinks did it. When David said he was the Son of God, he believed he was the Messiah and knew how to live forever. He also wanted to get rid of a group called the Zionist Empire. In 2008, he gave a talk called Sermon on the Mount in a village in England about how he was Jesus Christ. Now, he only talks to a small group of people, sometimes dressed as Dolores, at his old farmhouse. David has disagreed with what his ex-girlfriend said about him having a mental disorder. He thinks he's been telling the truth his whole life. He believes he is the latest version of Jesus and tries to live a life full of love. He thinks we can all be free if we use our right to choose and not follow what everyone else tells us to do. He also thinks his name is hidden in an old story in the Bible with these acclaimed Jesuses. It is only a matter of time before the supposed Jesus and angels spotted on the Mount of Olives reappear, this time with a name. No matter what we believe in, whether it's different religions or no religion at all, we all share a common goal to make the world a better place. As we navigate through our individual beliefs and values, it is important to recognize and respect the diversity that exists in the world. While some may find solace in organized religion, others may derive their moral compass from secular philosophies or personal experiences. Despite these differences, the overarching desire to cultivate a more harmonious and compassionate world unites us all. The pursuit of a better world transcends religious doctrines and cultural boundaries. It is a universal aspiration that resonates with people from all walks of life. Whether we express this through acts of kindness, social activism, or simply by striving to be better versions of ourselves, the underlying motivation remains unchanged: to create a more inclusive and equitable society for present and future generations. In our quest to improve the world, we must also confront the challenges and injustices that threaten progress. Issues such as poverty, discrimination, environmental degradation, and political unrest require collective action and unwavering dedication. By coming together as a global community, we can address these complex issues with empathy, understanding, and a commitment to fostering positive change. Moreover, fostering a culture of inclusivity and respect is essential in building a more peaceful and interconnected world. By embracing diversity and celebrating the unique perspectives that each individual brings to the table, we can create a society that thrives on mutual understanding and collaboration. This collective effort towards unity and acceptance paves the way for a future where differences are celebrated rather than feared. In our interconnected world, the actions of one individual can have ripple effects that extend far beyond their immediate surroundings. By recognizing our shared humanity and the interconnected nature of our existence, we can harness our collective power to effect meaningful change on a global scale. Every act of kindness, every gesture of solidarity, and every moment of empathy contributes to the collective effort of making the world a better place for all. Regardless of our individual beliefs or backgrounds, we are all united by a common goal: to create a world that is more just, compassionate, and sustainable for future generations. By embracing our shared humanity and working together towards a brighter future, we can overcome the challenges that lie ahead and build a more inclusive and harmonious world for all. It's up to all of us to make Jesus' vision a reality. As individuals, we hold the power to bring about Jesus' vision and turn it into a tangible reality. His teachings of love, compassion, forgiveness, and understanding serve as the foundation upon which we can build a better world. It is our collective responsibility to embody these principles in our daily lives and interactions, spreading kindness and positivity wherever we go. By practicing empathy and selflessness, we can emulate Jesus' example and inspire others to do the same. In a world that is often filled with hate, division, and conflict, it is more crucial than ever to live by the values that Jesus preached. Rather than succumbing to anger and resentment, we must strive to cultivate patience, tolerance, and acceptance. Through acts of generosity and charity, we can uplift those in need and bring hope to the hopeless. By standing up for justice and equality, we can dismantle systems of oppression and create a more inclusive society for all. Jesus' vision of a world where every individual is treated with dignity and respect is one that resonates deeply with many. It is a vision that transcends boundaries of faith, nationality, and ethnicity, uniting us in our shared humanity. As stewards of this planet, it is incumbent upon us to care for the environment and safeguard its resources for future generations. By being mindful of our ecological footprint and adopting sustainable practices, we can honor Jesus' call to be good stewards of the earth. In our pursuit of Jesus' vision, we must not shy away from difficult conversations or challenging situations. We must be willing to engage in honest and open dialogue, even when it may be uncomfortable or awkward. It is through these difficult conversations that we can truly grow and learn from one another. By listening to different perspectives and being open to feedback, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. This willingness to engage in challenging conversations is essential for personal and spiritual growth. In our pursuit of Jesus' vision, we are called to love one another unconditionally and without judgment. This means being willing to extend grace and forgiveness, even when it is difficult. It requires us to show empathy and understanding towards others, even when we may not agree with them. By embodying the love and compassion that Jesus showed to others, we can create a more inclusive and accepting community. As followers of Jesus, we are also called to seek justice and equality for all. This means standing up against injustice and discrimination, even when it is uncomfortable or unpopular. We must be willing to speak out against oppression and advocate for the marginalized and vulnerable in our society. This commitment to social justice is at the core of Jesus' teachings and is essential for living out his vision in today's world. In our pursuit of Jesus' vision, we must also be willing to make sacrifices and take risks for the greater good. This may mean stepping out of our comfort zones and challenging ourselves to do things that are difficult or frightening. It requires us to trust in God's plan and have faith that He will guide us through any challenges we may face. Overall, our pursuit of Jesus' vision requires courage, compassion, and a deep commitment to love and justice. It is not always easy, but by following His example and staying true to our beliefs, we can create a more just and compassionate world for all. It is through openness and dialogue that we can bridge divides and foster understanding among people of diverse backgrounds. By listening attentively and speaking from the heart, we can build bridges of communication and forge connections that transcend barriers of language and culture. As we embark on this journey to turn Jesus' vision into reality, let us remember that change begins with us. Each small act of kindness, each gesture of compassion, and each moment of grace brings us one step closer to realizing the world that Jesus envisioned. Together, let us work towards creating a more peaceful, harmonious, and just society for all. Let us be the change we wish to see in the world, and let us strive to make Jesus' vision a reality in our lifetime. We have to have faith in ourselves and each other, and we have to be determined to keep working towards a better future. So let's keep moving forward with hope and determination, knowing that we have the power to make the world a better place. Let's continue to believe in our capabilities and in the power of unity. With unwavering determination, we must persist in our efforts to create a brighter tomorrow. Together, we can overcome any obstacles that come our way and strive towards a future filled with opportunities and positivity. It is essential to foster a sense of trust, not only in ourselves but also in the strength of our collective efforts. By staying committed to our goals and remaining focused on the tasks at hand, we can make significant strides towards building a more inclusive and prosperous world for all. In times of uncertainty and challenges, it is crucial to maintain a sense of optimism and resilience. Let us remain steadfast in our resolve to effect positive change and create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. By working together towards common goals and supporting one another, we can overcome any adversity that crosses our path. Remember, it is through our collective actions and shared vision that we can truly make a difference and leave a lasting impact on the world. As we forge ahead with hope and determination, let us embrace the power that lies within each of us to shape a better future. Our individual strengths, when combined, have the potential to bring about transformative change on a global scale. Let us harness this power and channel it towards building a world that is built on principles of equality, justice, and compassion. Together, we can create a future that is characterized by harmony and unity, where every individual is valued and respected. So let us march forward with unwavering faith in our abilities and a deep conviction that together we can make a difference. Let us hold on to the belief that a better tomorrow is within our reach, and that by working together, we can create a world that is more just, equitable, and sustainable for future generations. With optimism as our guiding light and determination as our driving force, we can pave the way towards a brighter and more promising future for all. Thank you for watching. May your name always be on Jesus' blessing list. Amen. If you like this video, don't forget to press the subscribe button and ring the bell to receive notifications about the latest videos from our channel. Please leave your comments and suggestions below in the comments section, And don't forget to share this video with your friends. We appreciate your support and hope to see you again in the next videos. Have a great day and see you soon.